Right. And our next speaker is Jessie. She's our first speaker, and her speech is titled The Reflection Game. Her objective is to use more gestures and voice variations, vocal variety. And the time for the timer, it will be 5 to 7 minutes. And her evaluator is Angelis. So we will now introduce Stacy, the reflection game, Jesse, the reflection game, Jesse.
Hi, have you ever wondered why in a conversation with your son or daughter, you might get shut out in the conversation because all you felt you were really trying to do was offer some free advice? I know that's happened to me. And if it's happened to you, I'm here to help you figure out how to turn that around quickly with what I'm going to offer you today. And this comes from a book by Stephen Covey called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Some of you are probably familiar with it. And I like to take my spin on this part of the book and call it the reflection game. And you'll see why in a minute. So usually what happens is kids come home from school and they might be talking about what they've done for the day and say there's the son and he says, man, we really had rough football practice today. And the dad may hear that and reply, son, I'm happy to come in and talk to the coach if you like, and you could come with me, whatever you think. And the son just quickly replies, oh no, don't do that, dad. That would not be good. That would not be good because he'd be embarrassed, right? And so he says, it's okay, it's okay. It doesn't really matter. And he walks away. And so the dad feels a little baffled because he really wanted to help. Now, this time we're going to do the scene again. And this time I'll apply what I like to call the reflection game. And I'll interject from time to time just to explain a couple things. So here we go. Son, how was football practice? And the son says, I guess it was okay, but the coach was really brutal. Now this time, the son simply says, you're concerned the coach is being brutal. Well, yeah, Dad, he keeps yelling at us to hit harder. And sometimes it hurts my head, and I don't know if it's worth it. The dad again reflects. You're concerned football can be affecting your health. So I'm going to interject a note here. So now at least we have some real information, right? I want you to remember that this is not about advice. This is not about asking questions, and it's not about solving the problem for the child. We're simply reflecting the feeling and then the content. It's also okay to paraphrase a little when needed, but nothing more. Another variation that dad could have said was, you feel like football isn't worth the health risk. Well, yeah, Dad, I know you wanted me to play football, but if I dropped out now, because we haven't had any games yet, I could still try out for the golf team. And I know I have a good shot at it. And golf would be so much more practical. I'd use it my whole life. Again, the dad simply reflects, you feel like golf would be a more practical alternative. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're in business and everyone's playing golf and I don't play or somebody doesn't play, that could be a real drawback. Again, the dad calmly says, you feel like golf could have benefits in business. Right. Plus, you get to experience the great outdoors and be with your friends. So, what do you think about it, Dad? And now the dad finally gets to answer. I think you should get to make your own decisions, son, and I support you. Really, Dad? I was afraid that you'd freak out because, and you know what? I didn't want to disappoint you or the coach or my family. And another note. Now, I want to ask you at home, sitting where you are, please silently take 5 seconds and think, what do you think the dad's response would be? And again, the son has just said, I was afraid to talk to you about it because I didn't want to let you or the family down or my coach. Okay, 5 seconds. Okay, so you state the feeling and then the content. And that answer would be to simply that the dad could say something like, he might not say you're afraid because he might not want to reestablish that, but he could say you're concerned you'd let the family down or the coach. And it's really quite simple. And the son says, yes, but maybe it's not such a big deal because after all, if I switch now, while everyone still has some time to adjust, it might not be so bad. So I want to interject another note. You see how the son is sharing and talking and not feeling defensive about anything? He's really opened up. And then the dad reflects, you're thinking it's a big benefit. You haven't had the first football game yet, and there's still time to join the the golf team. Right. And you know what? The football coach and the golf instructor, they're friends. So I'm thinking maybe it won't be such a big deal as I think. The dad simply reflects, you feel it's helpful. The two coaches know each other. Oh, yeah, they're good friends. What do you think mom would say? Note, this is the second time, if you've noticed, that the son has asked a question. And this denotes connection and rapport. Very important. So now that he's asked a question, what do you say? Same thing. And notice that the dad does not answer the question, but instead he reflects. You're concerned about what mom will say. Well, she just mentioned that she can't wait to watch me play football this year. And the dad says, you're concerned your mother may be disappointed. Yeah, but you know what? Hopefully she'll like to watch me play golf too. I hope so. You've been great, Dad. And the dad simply says, we both want what's best for you. I think I'll go talk to her now. Is it okay if I tell her we talked, Dad? I'm going to interject another note. This is the third time the son has asked a question. And this may seem simple, but it is significant. And because it denotes what? Trust and connection. The dad answers, yes, of course. I think it's a sound plan, son. Okay, thanks. Wish me luck, Dad. Good luck, son. You'll do fine. So that's the end of the script. And I just wanted to say, if you're skeptical, please try this at home, because I tried it with my daughter and she even knew what was going on, and it still resulted in her coming up with her own conclusions about the problem, which left her feel heard by me, supported by me, and it creates the space to talk again about some future conversation or some future problem. So I hope this simple formula for creating more meaning in your conversations with your kids at any age, even as grown-ups, has been helpful. Because as you know, we never stop becoming their parents, and they never stop wanting to be more empowered and take charge of their own lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. We will now take 1 minute for evaluations. Got about 30 seconds. About 15. All right, wrapping it up. All right, gotta turn off my alarm. All right, thanks for everyone thank you for Jesse for a very interesting speech. I'm really interested in that. I took a have an online masterclass, and it was on negotiation, and that was a lot of the things they were talking about, that rephrasing what someone says, and almost like, yeah, it's very interesting. So our next speaker is Stacy, and the title of her speech is Vitamins 101. It's
It's Kathy, right? Kathy's the
Oh, I'm
speaker.
sorry, Kathy. I'm so
Okay.
sorry. I knew that didn't sound right. Oh, her title the title of her speech is Vitamins 101, and the objective is to research and plan a speech. The time is 5 to 7 minutes, and her evaluator is Deanna. Please welcome Kathy, Vitamins 101, Vitamins 101, Kathy.
Woohoo! Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Kathy Everhart, and I did some research on vitamins. So I'm going to tell you a little bit what I found out. So who here takes vitamins or supplements of some time in your life or every day? Raise your hand. Okay, I see. Well, I did a survey. I did a survey about 10 friends that I know and asked them, do you take vitamins or supplements? And why? 9 of them said yes, for various reasons. Sometimes they have a bone issue, or they have a low immunity, they have a low vitamin D, multiple vitamins in general because they want to stay healthy. One person said she would love to be able to take vitamins, but right now, because of her income, she can't afford them. So, but overall, I think generally people take vitamins for the right reason. All of this is very interesting, and we enjoy taking vitamins because we think that it helps us. Well, I did a little survey, and based on John Hopkins nutrition experts, half of the Americans in the United States take vitamins. 70% of those are 65 years and older, take a multivitamin or some kind of a mineral supplement regularly. That's a lot. That total price tag exceeds about 12 million per year. That's incredible. But some experts say, well, maybe we better spend more money on nutrient-packed fruit, vegetables, and whole grains and low dairy products. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't eat that much, and what the servings are. The USDA recommends eating 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. Experts actually say 10 servings a day. That seems a lot. And what happens when you cook the vegetables? It loses some of their vitamins and their minerals. And if we eat some of them raw, like broccoli or Brussels sprouts, have you ever eaten raw Brussels sprouts? It's not quite tasty. So those, we all like what we like for their taste, their texture, the smell of the fruits and vegetables. Yikes, that's a lot of servings, 4 to 6 servings of each. Well, depending on the age and the sex, the federal guidelines recommend that each adult eat at least 1.5 to 2 cups per day of fruits and 2 to 3 cups per day of vegetables, and as part of a healthy eating plan. Is it fresh or cooked? I don't know, because a lot of them shrink. We lose vitamins when we cook them. So I wanted to show you this bowl of vegetables this is 3 cups. And this consists of red peppers and yellow peppers, celery, and fresh carrots. And these are all fresh. Now, we might have a salad for lunch, and that might be a big salad. I'd be pretty full. That's not even counting the protein that we need or any of the fruit that we need. So we actually, based on some studies, we need to have at least 3 fruits a day. So here is a sample of 1 fruit, which is 1 apple. So you can have 1 apple as a fruit, a banana as a fruit, a plum, 3 apricots is a fruit. So we have to have 3 fruit vegetables, you know, a day. I don't know, I can barely get 1 apple a day, and I slice it up, and then half of that apple goes to my dog. So he's actually getting his recommended fruits and vegetables a day too. So like many of us, we probably don't get that many. And I went on to study about the appropriate dosage depends on the solubility of the vitamins. So there are water soluble and there's fat soluble. The water soluble, if you take too much, it just kind of goes through your system. So you might, you know, when you go to the bathroom, it's more yellow than normal. And I'm thinking, hey, maybe I'm taking too many vitamins. Fat soluble vitamins don't break down as easily in your body. So you have to be careful that you don't take too many because you might get an overdose of some vitamins. I haven't heard of any personal relationships, but of people. So the fat soluble vitamins include A, D, E, and K. And some of them are toxic, A and D. I don't know what the toxics are. Some multivitamins come in are vitamins in herbs, amino acids, fatty acids. So there's a lot to know about vitamins. Now, I personally take vitamins, but I've done a lot of studies, and I have a couple here that I've gotten. I won't tell you what they are, but I would, if I was you, look at the label, see what they are. Get the recommended amount, like, 1,000 units a day or this, that, or are they plant-based? If they're plant-based, they're going to have easy to digest in your system. So my recommendations, I try to eat all the basic fresh vegetables a day, but my final conclusion is that you need to really read the labels of vitamins, get some studies on it, and be your best advocate. Take care of yourself and eat happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy. We will now take a minute for evaluation.
I'll eat my vegetables.
Okay, about 20 seconds left. About 10 seconds. All right, wrapping it up. That was a very interesting speech. I am very interested in the vitamins for my back and stuff. And I learned about chewing mindfully the other day. It seems that you eat less when you chew a lot more. Just like, but we'll see. Now can I get a timer's report for both speeches? That would be Camille.
Yes, for Jesse's speech, it's 7 minutes and 28 seconds, and for Kathy, it's 6 minutes and 12 seconds.
All right, sounds like they're both qualified. I appreciate that, Camille. And we could all cast our votes for best speaker. You could send your votes to Brooke, please. And I will now introduce our general evaluator, Anita. Please welcome Anita.
Hi, everyone. Great speeches. Our first evaluator for Jesse is Angelus. Thank you, Angelus.
Thank you, Anita. Okay, so for Jesse, I wrote some things down. I liked how you used your cause and effect scenarios. At first I didn't know it was a script. So I mean, I thought that was used. That was in good use, especially when you use your hand gestures. One of the things you could work on is either move your camera down so we could actually see your hands. We saw like half your hands sometimes, so that would have been good to see like maybe half your body or something. For your voice variations, I noticed the good use of voice variations when you change like characters like the son and dad. I like that.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you evaluating Kathy or Jesse?
I'm evaluating Jesse.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Oh, sorry. And then in some parts it seemed like you were reading. I didn't know it was a script until like later, so I didn't catch that. Your language was clear, and your vocal variety was. There were some parts that you were kind of monotone, but I think it's because you were reading the script. And it was a really good speech. I liked it though. Thank you.
Thank you, Angeles. And our next evaluator is Deanna, who is evaluating Kathy's speech.
Thank you. Let's see, can you see me? Okay, I'm trying to do hosting duty too. So anyway, just really quickly. So Kathy, you did a great job, and I like the background. I like the background with all the colorful fruits and vegetables, and so that was nice. And I liked how you asked the question initially to engage people. Okay, all right. And also, I did notice that you looked like you were looking down at your notes. So it's good to be able to try to focus more on the camera and try to rely less on notes. But this is your second speech. So you did a fantastic job, especially when it comes to research. There's so much information. So I remember when I had to do my research, I definitely did have to look at the notes. Also very impressive is that you had no fillers. I didn't hear any ahs or ums, so you just flowed really nicely. A lot of excellent information. Good expressions, especially when you started talking about the broccoli. I liked how you did that. Sometimes you have to be careful when you're using a background, because for whatever reason, the back of your chair was disappearing and reappearing and disappearing. And so that was kind of difficult. And then when you're holding the products, sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. And when you bought the apple, we couldn't see the apple, so that needed to be a little bit farther up. But excellent speech, a lot of really good information, very impactful. And also, I did notice your conclusion was a little bit on the quick side, so maybe next time you might want to add a little bit more to your conclusion. Other than that, very good. Looking forward to hearing your next speech. I think your next one's gonna be based on applying what you've heard today and then putting it into the next one. Thank you.
Thank you, Deanna. And now back to Pat, our Toastmaster.
All right, thanks, Anita. Sorry, I got a visitor. Thanks, Anita, can we now have a timers report for our speech evaluators?
Yes, Mr. Toastmaster. Angeles was 1 minute and 37 seconds, and Deanna was 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Back to you.
All right, thanks. Now we can vote for please cast your vote for the best evaluator. Send it to Brooke, please. Now I will introduce our table topics master, Paul. Please welcome Paul.
Thank you. Thanks, Pat. We're going to have some fun today. I almost feel like I shouldn't be doing this table topics because I'm not British, but hey, we're going to have fun anyway. Word of the day is gobsmacked. Gobsmacked is an adjective which means utterly astonished, or defined as utterly astonished or astounded. So please try to use the word of the day gobsmacked in your table topics. So getting back to British themes, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. British themes, British phrases, and even a little bit of British slang.
Woohoo!
I know, and we have two resident experts, Brooke and Angel. So I'm going to ask Brooke and Angel to hold off on their comments if I mispronounce something, which I might, because this is British English. Or if I just don't get it right, I'm going off of some stuff I found on the internet, did a little bit of research. So if I screw it up royally, which I might, you can go, okay, wait a minute. No, that's not exactly right. But hold off on all the critique until the end. Okay. All right. So here we go. The first phrase is fancy a cuppa, which basically means, would you like a cup of tea? So you probably heard that Brits love tea. I personally don't drink a lot of tea, but to the British, tea is more than a beverage. It's kind of a way of life. And it doesn't take long in Britain until you're asked, would you fancy a cup? So my question for you is herbal, tropical, iced, or hot? In what ways do you or do you not drink your tea? Anita.
Thank you for that, question, Paul. I was gobsmacked when I went online looking for chocolate, and I found this chocolate company in Hawaii that offered chocolate tea, and I couldn't believe it. So I ordered chocolate tea, and I haven't tried it yet. I gave it away as presents, but I'm hoping to try some soon. So I guess my favorite would be fruity because chocolate's a fruit, but there's this beautiful little tea house in Oceanside. It's brand new. It's called Bliss Tea, and I love it there. And I've gone there with girlfriends a couple of times, and I always get their almond tea. And believe it or not, they actually put chopped up almonds in the infuser when they make their tea, and it's just beautiful, wonderful, and I love it. So I guess I like nutty tea also, but I like hot, and I like iced tea. I drink iced tea all day. So just give me tea and I'm happy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Anita. So here's another fun one. All right, or all right. Sometimes I've heard it pronounced with no L, and sometimes it's all right, and it's all different types of things. I looked up on YouTube the pronunciation of it because it sounds like it's common sense. All right. It basically means how are you? So I understand that a lot of the Brits under 40, they like to greet their friends with this expression, all right. I also understand that you could go to a pub and the bartender might come up to you and say, all right. And the bartender is not necessarily asking, are you all right? They're asking, what would you like to order? So I guess there's all kinds of ways that you could use that. But most people use it in Britain as a version of hello. My question to you is, oftentimes when people ask you, are you all right? Or how are you? Seems to me like they don't really want to know. When that happens, what do you generally say? Do you tell them how you're doing, or do you just kind of give them a quick answer and then walk away? How do you answer the question, how are you? Lucille.
I am gobsmacked when somebody asks me how I am, especially nowadays. Anyway, when somebody asks me, all right, how are you? I usually just say, I'm fine, thank you. And I said, how are you? Back to that person. So that starts the communication. And sometimes I will get a response that they will tell me all their life story and how they really are, which then, of course, I just have to nod and listen and be sympathetic, empathetic to whatever it is that they are experiencing right now, because maybe at that particular time they just really need to vent, and that's okay. I'm a good listener, I think I am. And so I just let them move right on and however they want. And I'm said to them, well, I hope that you feel better at the end. So thank you for that question, Paul.
Thank you, Lucille. The next one is I'm knackered, which means I'm tired. So let's say you got done with the Zumba class. Hope I pronounced that right. Knackered? We'll see.
You can't say that to people. You really can't.
Knackered.
Very rude.
How is it? Is it I'm knackered?
It means I've had my balls cut off. It means I'm castrated.
Oh, well, this one says I'm tired.
And it's very, very rude.
No,
Oh
but
my gosh.
I think knackered means I'm tired. I've used that, like I'm knackered, I'm tired.
Yeah, but you wouldn't say it to your mother and father, would you?
Yeah, I think I would.
Okay, carry on then.
Let's assume that we're not talking about being castrated. That's always good.
Oh, that's where it comes from. Carry on, carry on.
And let's go with I'm tired. I like that phrase better. So maybe you're done with a Zumba class and you're tired, you're knackered. I think I got it right. My question to you is, when was the last time you were flat out exhausted, knackered, where you just didn't have anything left to give? When was that last time when you're just exhausted and you just didn't have anything left to give to anyone? Stacy.
I knew you were gonna pick on me. That's okay. Knackered, I believe, was last night, actually. I typically stay up until about 11 o'clock almost every night. But last night I was knackered. And don't be gobsmacked about that. I just was, I had a workout and I had a walk and I just must have done too much. So I was really tired. I love that word. And I think I want to use that now since I've heard it. Isn't it? Well, even though Angel says it sounds like a bad thing, I still like using the language, even English language, differently rather than saying like Lucille was saying when somebody asked, how are you? We were taught in our business to say unbelievable because that means anything. It can be one way or the other. So I'm always looking for creative uses of the English language. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. All right, we're going to go to one of our resident Brits for this one. Cheeky. Cheeky means playful or mischievous. A lot of Brits, it says, take pleasure in being playful, so they often use the word cheeky to describe a small, fun, or frivolous activity. Like somebody might say, do you want to join us for a cheeky pint? I don't use the word cheeky at all, but I still find it interesting. My question to Angel, I can hear your voice, but we can't see you, but that's okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to participate as best I can.
I know, you're doing great. When was the last time, Angel, you used cheeky in a phrase to talk to somebody, and under what context was it?
Well, thank you for that question, Paul. You might be a bit gobsmacked when I tell you where I would probably use it. You can use it to children. Children can be cheeky. But if you call an adult person cheeky, it's a polite way of telling them that they've crossed the line. In other words, if they try to pinch your buttocks or do something they shouldn't do or make a risque comment, you can look at them and say, oh, cheeky. Without actually slapping them down or having a negative conversation. You can just let them know, oh, hello, wasn't expecting that. So cheeky usually means you've stepped out of line a little bit. It's a person, usually not a thing. So a child could be cheeky. And it's, again, a polite way of saying, say a child was very rude to you in the street or something. You can say, well, he's a little bit cheeky, isn't he? So I would use it like that. So try not to be too gobsmacked.
All right, thank you, Angel. I found this one interesting. I've never heard this one. It's called I'm chuffed to bits, which means I'm very pleased. So I was expecting in this one class I took for my MBA that I was going to get an F on a test and ended up getting a B. So I guess I was chuffed to bits. I was very pleased with myself. When was the last time you exceeded your own expectations? An instance where you might have been chuffed to bits. Brooke, I can see that you're not on camera, but you want to tell us?
Yeah, I'm
verbally?
here. Sorry, I'm not in the best place right now, but
That's okay. Go for it.
okay. First of all, I'm really happy that you're doing the British, bringing back some memories. But for me, recently I've been very chuffed because I had my son's parents' evening, and I was actually really gobsmacked because I thought the teacher was going to tell me how bad he's been and he's not paying attention and he's not listening. But actually, he really surprised me, and the teacher had all wonderful things to say about him and how he eats what he has on his plate, which he does not do for when he's at home with me. He, likes to read books when usually there's sometimes a fight between me and him at home to read a book, because all he wants to do is watch the TV. And the teacher also said that how he just wants to learn new things. So I was really gobsmacked, but I was also really chuffed at the same time.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, this is one that I use, and I probably shouldn't, but I use it bloody, which means very. So you could have a fish and chips that was bloody delicious, or you could see a movie that was bloody awful. I think I've been watching too many British detective movies lately, but that could be. So my question to you, with that word bloody in mind, tell us about a bloody exciting experience you recently had. Let's go with, trying to see who hasn't spoken yet. Megan, tell us about a bloody exciting experience you had. Megan, you're on mute. There you go.
Thank you for that question, Paul. I use this word almost, I guess, frequently. I don't want to say every day, but I don't know about daily. I use this word, and probably Angel and Brooke, I use it incorrectly. I use it when I don't have another word to say, and I use it when I don't want to cuss. And it's just a nice, more polite way not to cuss. And so that way, if you don't cuss, then I believe that people won't be gobsmacked against how you are speaking. If you just say, bloody, and you just got to make it so you're a classier way of cussing. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Megan. I'm looking at the time. I think we have hopefully time just for a couple more. This one is interesting. I'm pissed. Now, in English or in the US, we think it like I'm angry, but apparently it means I'm drunk. So in American English, to be pissed means to be angry about something. In British English, this website I looked at says it's used to describe the feeling that you've had too many lagers down at the pub and you can't even walk in a straight line. So when I ask the next person this question, I'm not suggesting that you're an alcoholic, but I'm going to ask the question. When you're in social settings, how do you manage your alcohol? Do you sometimes let it get away from you? Greg McKean? Greg, you're on mute.
There we go.
There you go.
You'll be gobsmacked to know that sometimes I have too much to drink. That is, I know that's amazing. It is. It's an amazing thing, but I do. Not very often, though. A year or two ago, I can't even remember how long, I drank too much and I got really obnoxious. I know that's hard to believe too, but I did. And I stopped. I said, I'm not ever going to do that again as long as I live. So I stopped drinking completely for 3 months. Lost 30 pounds, amazingly enough. And then I started drinking again a little bit, 1, then 2. Now I try to limit myself to 3, but I have not gotten out of line myself for at least 2 years. So that's a good thing. And plus I watch my weight because I don't want to get fat again. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Hey, Pat, do we have time for one more? It's up to you. One more. He says yes. All right. This one I heard recently because I have a colleague that now lives in Canada, but is from the UK. And she uses this word a lot. That's rubbish, she said. So apparently rubbish is the British word for garbage. So if you want to point out that something is of low quality or blatantly false, you can say that's rubbish. And I don't remember what the context was. It might have been somebody that didn't do something at work and she's like, that's rubbish. So my question to you is, I want you to think about a time either recently or in the past where somebody told you something so inconceivable, so wrong that you had to exclaim, that's rubbish. Camille? There you are. Tell us about a time when you had to exclaim something so inconceivable, you had to say, that's rubbish.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. I'm not really sure if I can think of a recent time or even a faraway time. I'm gobsmacked as how to answer that question. But I do have a sister, and she can't cook at all. And she often tries to convince me that her food is good, but it is not. It is rubbish. It tastes like rubbish. It smells like rubbish. I'm like, yeah, no, sister, no. And I'm fat, but she's fatter than me. And I wonder how you can eat the food and be fat. I don't get it. That also gobsmacks me. But I love my sister, and you know, it's all good. But I am not eating. You know what? Matter of fact, this Thanksgiving, I'm gonna go to McDonald's first, or stop by one of the fast foods before I go to her house. So I will have to eat her Thanksgiving meal. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Awesome. Camille, sounds like your sister would be a candidate for Worst Cooks, that show. I like that on Food Network. All right, Pat, I'm gonna turn it back over to you. Thanks so much for indulging me on these topics.
Woohoo! Awesome.
Great
So
job.
good. Great job.
Great job, Paul. That was very interesting and very colorful
Very colorful.
speeches on the table topics. It reminds me of an old song. It says, man, your chicken tastes like wood. But we're still friends. No, but that was a good old song. Okay, can I get a table topics timers report from Camille?
Toastmaster, Anita 114, Lucille 103.
All right, so
153. Huh?
you can just, if everyone qualified or if
Everyone qualified.
okay, awesome. And I believe everyone said the word of the day. I'm just not sure about Stacy.
That's my job.
Oh.
Yes, everyone. I am totally blown away that everyone used the word of the day, and I didn't even start holding it up until near the end because I kept thinking it was somebody else's job. But everybody did the word of the day, so even I did. Yes, I did. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, and now we can cast our votes for our favorite table topics master. Send that to Brooke, if you can, please. And now may I have a counter report, please, from
Me.
Greg.
Okay. Let's see. Jesse, I didn't catch anything except 4 or so so's. 4 or so so's. Kathy had just a weensy and 2 you knows. Angela's had a few uhs and ums, like 5 each approximately. Deanna had just the weensiest of ums. And I could tell Deanna was pausing when instead of saying most of the time, but one squeaked out. Paul, of course, nothing. Anita had an and a. Lucille had and so, which I don't know if that's bad or not. Stacy had 3 us. Brooke had 3 ums. Megan had an and so. And Camille said, you know. That's it.
Thanks, Greg. May I have a grammarian report, please, from
Me.
Stacy.
Thank you. Yes, I am proud to be grammarian today because I heard a lot of really good words. In fact, Paul coming up with that table topics was a brilliant idea. I just really loved the words that he used today. Was just out of the box and totally creative. So thank you, Paul. Just fancy a cuppa. I think that I was actually having a cuppa while you were saying that. So Jesse said the word rapport, trust, and connection. Kathy said fat soluble and best advocate. Deanna used the word fantastic and impactful. Lucille said empathetic and sympathetic. And Greg, I think, had the most fun words, weensiest and squeaked out. So thank you. Great words.
Thank you, Stacy. I will now have the word of the day was used. May we now have a general evaluator report from Anita, please.
Thank you, Pat. The meeting went great. It started on time. By the time the meeting started, we had somebody in every role. All the roles were excellent. Everybody executed their role in a professional and excellent way. I have to say, table topics was hilarious and a lot of fun, and it was just a lot of fun, and everybody participated in a great and upbeat way. It was a wonderful, wonderful meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. It was a great meeting. I like how the counter report, it reminds me that I'm improving my speech. And the way I notice that is when I notice other people's speech, just going through my day, if someone's saying a lot of ums or you knows, I'm more mindful of that. So it helps me to work on mine. So we will now announce our winners. If Brooke is available to do that.
So for the best speaker, Jessie was the winner.
Right.
And for the evaluators, Deanna was the winner.
Woo! Drum roll.
And then for the table topics, it was Camille. She won. So,
awesome.
Good job, everyone.
Great job, Camille, for the newcomer. Thanks for, we're probably not a newcomer to Toastmasters, but to our meeting. Thanks for that. And yeah, I'll just say thank you all for coming. I enjoyed leading the meeting, and we endured through this meeting. And
Pat,
you're on mute.
Pat,
I
didn't give the watcher.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
I apologize. Go ahead, Megan, please.
All right. Okay. I think to the first speaker, the hands. What?
2 ums you just did.
Hands down. Angelus, we can see you very well. I know. We could see you very well. I don't know if that was better than last time. Jesse had good background. It was the sort of subconscious with the fruits and vegetables background and with all of the fruits and vegetables in your speech. That was very apropos. And I thought that was great. And, I know I'm saying a lot. And I loved learning all of those words, Paul. That was a great job. And everyone really looked professional. And I know that is what we need to do, since now we're all going to be on Zoom. We should all dress waist up like professional. And I think that everyone looked very good and the lighting was good. Everyone was presentable, I guess. And you could see and hear everyone, which was a good job. Angel and Brooke, I couldn't see you, so I don't know if you, how your hand gestures or anything was. But otherwise, I think everyone, let's see. Everyone, I think it was the vitamin. Okay, I'm sorry. That is all for Watcher.
Thanks, Megan. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Great observations. And now I enjoyed leading the meeting, and thank you all for coming. I just want to encourage anyone that's interested in leading the meeting. It's really not as bad as it looks. And I actually made this little script for doing it to keep me on schedule with like the times and just introduction. So I found it and I used it today. So it really helps to just keep it going. So with that, I will return control of the meeting to our president, Deanna.
Great job, Pat. Awesome meeting. Paul, where do you come up with these ideas? Fantastic. So really quickly, Camille, would love to hear your feedback as our guest today.
Yes, I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was really smart that you utilized me, because a lot of clubs don't do that. So thank you again. You're a great club. You got a lot of chemistry, and it was just a fun time. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for joining us, Camille. Thanks for helping us out. And I love your fireworks. That was really cute. Okay, so really quickly, let's do our schedule for next week. Let me share my schedule here. So next week, we've got 2 speakers, Myra and Anita. And aside from that, every spot is open. So please just yell out your name and what position you want.
I could be evaluator.
Thank you, Pat.
I'll do all counter or grammarian. This Paul. Either one, I don't care.
I will.
How's that, Paul? Thank you, Paul.
If Pat gives me his agenda, how he did it, I could be the Toastmaster.
Awesome, Kathy.
Hey.
No,
awesome.
okay.
Is that what you meant by Kathy, right?
Yes.
Toastmaster? Awesome.
Toastmaster or Toastmaster?
Cheers.
I can see the general evaluator. This is Jessie.
Thank you, Jessie.
Hey, Deanna, I'll be evaluated too.
Fantastic. Thank you, Brooke.
Is that okay that I'm doing that before my icebreaker?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
I can be joke master. Miss Angeles.
Angeles. Thank you, Angeles.
What's the matter? Just a minute.
Okay, table topics master, I'll counter, timer. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to stop sharing so we can go ahead and fill it out on email. I wanted to just mention a few things. The member interest survey that Lucille sent out, please complete that so that we all know what level of what your interest is in participation. Also, everybody gets a free path that was given by Toastmasters. So make sure you get your free path by December, by the end of December. But do it now, so you don't have to think about it. Do it now, get it done, get that second path. That's free from Toastmasters for the COVID issue. Also, voting for Thanksgiving for for the week of Thanksgiving. I'm gonna vote one more time. Who wants to meet during the day after Thanksgiving? And let me just ask really quickly, who does not want to meet?
I won't be able to make it.
Okay, so 1, 2. Who can meet?
I can meet.
I'm not
Okay.
sure yet.
I can.
Yeah, still. It's like 50-50. 50-50 is not enough. I need majority. I need majority. Okay, so for now, we're not gonna meet then for the day after Thanksgiving. And what else did I want to mention? Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow is Area 18 speech contest. And support Corey if you guys can. I'm excited about him being representing for our club. And if you need to find out how to log on, go to d5tm.org, and then you can sign up under the calendar. Or if you have any questions, let me know. All right, with that, are we good? Anybody? That's it? Any announcements? Okay, all right. Stay safe out there. Have a lot of fun. Have a great weekend. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Greg.
All right, thank you.
Bye, everyone.